This is part 2 of creating the two-piece sequin garment. So let's begin. Okay, so after creating the top portion of this garment, I was left with the remaining fabric, which I figured out how I was going to create the skirt. So my plan was to create a pencil type floor length skirt. So I folded the remaining fabric and cut off the excess fabric on the sides. And then I went on to just kind of create an angle so that the bottom can be kind of flared out a bit. And I'm doing the same thing with the lining. And I'm just folding it in half. The skirt is just gonna have a center back seam. So I just took it to the machine using my zigzag stitch. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the lining. So here I have 2-inch wide elastic for the waist, and I just like to stretch it out a little bit before working with it, just to kind of break it in. And then I'm just zigzag stitching the ends about 1/4 of an inch overlap. And this is how it looks, so you just want to kind of stretch it out to test if everything is secure. And now I'm headed to the next step. So I like to cut the lining about 1 inch higher than the outward fabric so that you won't see the lining along with the fashion fabric together, but it'll be about 1 inch above the fashion fabric. And I'm gonna be doing a 1/2 inch hem, so it'll be 1.5 inches when it's all done. So now I'm just pressing out the seams of the lining and also for the sequin. And here I see some empty parts of the sequin pattern, so I'm just gonna cut where that gap is, or that empty part is. So I'm just gonna cut right through. Okay, this is how it looks. And now this is an important technique that I would like to show you, which will give you a nice clean waistline for a fancy skirt or for any skirt using a waistband. So here I am taking the lining and I'm putting it over the right side of the sequin fabric. So the right side of the lining will go to the right side of the sequin fabric. And I'm just gonna pin it together. I'm just gonna put a couple of pins to secure it. And I'm gonna take this waistband and I'm gonna put it inside of the sequin skirt, not outside of the lining, but inside of the sequin skirt. And I'm gonna be sewing this all together. So I'm gonna take my time and pin around the whole skirt, the whole waist of the skirt, with the lining, sequin fabric, and the waistband together. And this is what's going to give you a nice, clean, beautiful, neat waistline. And when I flip it over, you won't see the waistband. So this is what I like about this technique. It's like an invisible waist. So this is how it's looking. So that's the lining, the sequin, and the waistband is right inside. And I'm going all around a 1/4 of an inch with a zigzag stitch. And I'm just tugging a little bit also. So you just want to take your time during this step. And after that, I'm just cutting off the excess from the seam allowance to reduce some of that bulk. Okay, and this is how it looks. I did 1/4 of an inch all around. And then what I do is take out the lining. And I'm just going to put that lining right inside of the sequin skirt. And this is how it looks. It's so beautiful and clean. I love this technique. So you don't see anything. You don't see any seams or anything. So this is the invisible waist. And this is how it looks on me. You see, just to show you how it looks. It looks really, really clean. So I'm happy with the results. And that's the seam in the back, which you can hardly tell. So it looks good. And the elastic is right in between the lining and the sequin fabric. This is the final look. Thank you so much for watching. You can go check out part 1 on my last video. Later.